Hello, everybody. I am Zenith will rule, and welcome back to Diving Into DuckTales, where, oh my god, this episode. There's a lot of stuff to talk about. Yeah, I know, the opening stuff and whatnot, but this episode is really, really good, guys. So I'm gonna skip all of that. Instead, I'm just gonna say, hey, Kat.
Hey, Zen. Did you see the latest episode? Because I did.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Doug, did you see this episode?
I'm freaking out, man. I'm freaking out.
Dear God. Where do I even begin? Well, Kat, why don't you give us a brief summary, and then we can get into all of the things that happened, because all of the things.
Okay. Well, we have a plot A and a plot B going on. I'll get plot B out of the way first, just because it's like the most inconsequential. Basically, it turns out that Huey found a Bigfoot in the forest and takes him home to live with them. And this does not gel well with Louie, because the brothers treat Bigfoot a lot better than him. And it turns out that there's a reason for that, because the Bigfoot is not all that he seems. Meanwhile, on to plot A, the most important plot, Lena is once again attempting to steal Scrooge's #1 dime at the behest of Magica. And this time there seems to be more of a time crunch going on. However, her attempt gets botched by Webby, and Scrooge realizes that somebody is after his dime, so he decides to store it in the other bin, which, unlike his money bin, is hidden deep below their house and contains all sorts of magical items and creatures that he doesn't want the rest of the world knowing about. So it's basically Lena manipulating Webby into leading her down to the other bin so she can get her hands on the dime. And oh boy, does shit get heavy from there.
Okay, the first thing I really should say now, and I've said this before, but this is what Jaws should have been. And here's the thing. I liked that they were slowly wanting to introduce us to Magica and not blow their load all at once. And yes, that did lead to this being an amazing episode. But we finally see Catherine Tate, Aunt Magica, in her full menacing glory in several instances. We see her really showing why she's a force to be reckoned with in shadow form as well as in other areas. And the first thing I thought to myself from the very start of the episode is, yeah, she does kind of create some of her own problems. She's the one who kind of delayed them from getting the dime in the first place, but you still see her menace, especially because she has these shots where she fills up the screen with shadow behind Lena, and all you see is her eyes or her mouth, and her menace just grows so much in this episode that I'm just like, yes, this is what I was asking for beforehand. Show why she's a legitimate threat. And yeah, I get it. People who've watched the original series know who Magica Dispel is. Show me someone who's never really had that much exposure to this villain, why she's a force to be reckoned with, and this episode does it.
Ooh, yeah, tenfold, holy shit. And all with the powers of darkness!
Darkness. No parents.
Literally.
But yeah, so, I think we should get the B-plot out of the way first, because there's not really too much going on with it, and it doesn't have as much to do with the good stuff. Aside from a really funny crossover, because, Scrooge thinks someone's tampering with his dime, so he goes on a hunt around the mansion, and he gets out his hunting gear, and for some reason, Huey starts freaking out, because it's just he has a secret that he wants to hide. It turns out that in his travels in the woods, like he does, he found a Bigfoot. And the first thing I thought to myself, I'm like, is this the same is this the same Bigfoot from a Goofy movie?
I was kind of wondering that too, because he looks very similar. But then again, they've been sneaking in characters that look a lot like characters from like Goof Troop and Goofy movie, like that Roxanne character.
So we have this Bigfoot. Now, all the brothers know about it, so they're trying to keep it a secret from Scrooge, who's going around and hunting the mansion. And the Bigfoot, like basically, Huey saved the Bigfoot because he had a thorn in his paw. And now he's living with them, and he's taking all of Louie's soda and candy, and basically being the same kind of con artist that Louie is. It is later revealed that he is also a con artist as well. You see, he can talk. Big Feet can talk just like normal people. He even has a waddle phone. I don't know how, but just, roll with it.
Well, he's obviously a regular person just dressed up as a Bigfoot. Like, he just pulled that whole scheme because he knows that the nephews are related to Scrooge, and he wants to, like, bum off of their kindness just so, he can, just get stuff.
I would be behind that idea, but I'm thinking of the other people that we saw in the Waddle phone because he was FaceTiming, and they looked the same too. Like, maybe they're more hairy than usual.
They're dude bros. They all look like that.
Oh my god, it's a commentary on dude bro culture. I love it.
Yes. They're big, muscular, hairy men. They're obviously dude bros.
So we have two con artists going at each other, and so that's the crux of the episode. But before we get into that, I just want to say they give Bigfoot the nickname Tenderfeet. Tenderfeets, and if you've been in the Scouts like I was, you'll know that one of the first ranks in Boy Scouting is Tenderfoot. And Huey is a junior woodchuck, which is a play on Boy Scouting. So it's a very, very subtle joke, and I'm just like, oh my god, I understood that reference.
I didn't catch that. Nice.
So Kat, what do you think of the con battle?
I mean, when I first saw this, I thought it was another one of your typical, they find a mystical creature, they find a wild animal, and they try to keep it as a pet only for chaos to ensue. I thought it was going that route, and then they showed him making the panini, and I'm like, wait a minute. And then it's revealed that he's a con artist, and I'm like, oh my god. So now they have a nemesis for Louie, and the way he takes him down was just brilliant. I mean, I was surprised at first that he didn't just call Scrooge, because Scrooge was on the hunt at that point, and while the guy did threaten to, either hurt or kill Louie and his family, it's like, dude, your muscles are not going to stand up to a crossbow, and Scrooge will most likely shoot you dead as soon as he sees you. But I'm kind of glad that Louie went about the route he did, because first of all, that's his specialty. Conning people and getting his revenge in a very sneaky fashion. And also, he prevents his uncle from committing manslaughter. So there's that. So yeah, I did ultimately enjoy the way he got rid of Tenderfeets. And I keep wanting to call him Big Feets, but I'm like, no, this is Invader Zim. It's not
Look, Big Feets.
I just want to say, before I hand it over to Doug, I love when Scrooge walks in, finds out, oh, somebody's been using the panini press. Pickles and mayo, a nice combination of flavors. Clever girl.
The Cuban sandwich, they're all like that.
Oh, Doug,
Still
what do you
warm.
think?
I thought the B plot was pretty funny, and definitely it's it shows the potential Louie has, when he's not lazy, when he's when he has to scam, and it's he's already, he's scamming his brothers, but now he's in turn getting scammed, so it's really interesting to see how he handles it, and it's really crazy the way he manages to to spell the problem. Just like outsmarts Gavin / Tenderfeet.
The best part is when like they're letting him go back into the woods because he makes his brothers think that Tenderfeet is dying because he loses his hair, which Louie actually shaved while the guy was sleeping. So as they're like tearfully letting him go back into the woods, he just leans over to like the guy's ear and says, "I win." It's like, suck it.
Suck it, McBain. Another thing we do learn from this B plot is that Louie has a lot of cons he's running. First of all, he has this charity that Uncle Scrooge has been donating to help like wayward kids, and it's all going to Louie.
Well, it's Uncle Donald, but still, yeah, the fact that he like he's been conning him for years into giving to this charity that doesn't exist.
It's for poor kids like me. Kids exactly like me. It's for me.
And we didn't even find out all of his cons either, so I'm interested to know what else he's like, what other racketeers he's running.
Now that I think about it, in the previous episode during the bank robbery, Uncle Donald was being taken to the bank for a loan. Was that Louie or Huey that he was with?
That was Huey.
Okay. I was gonna say, because that could have been him donating to the charity if it was, but yeah, no, it was Huey. So yeah, the B plot out of the way. Funny, entertaining. Not why we're here. Not why we're here.
Nope.
The episode starts with Lena and Magica, and Lena is trying to take the dime away from Scrooge using this dagger that she forged that could cut through anything, and all the while Magica is berating her, saying like, this very simple, talking the entire time while I'm just like, Magica, you might want to shut up, you could wake up Scrooge.
That actually was a question I had throughout the whole episode. Can anybody else besides Lena hear what Magica is saying?
I wonder, I think it would make sense if only she could hear her, because while Lena did point out that she's talking the entire time, it could just be in her head.
Well, not only that, too, but I'm wondering if Lena's also the only person that could see her. Because think about it, I know in cartoons like this, a lot of the characters, for whatever reason, tend to not have peripheral vision, but there are many shots in which, anybody could easily see Magica's shadow lingering around Lena, but nobody ever says anything or even suspects it or even turns thinking that they saw something. So I am wondering legitimately if Lena is the only person that can both see and hear Magica, because that's the only thing that makes sense to me.
Well, they do kind of allude to the fact that other people would be able to see her, because Lena leads Webby away when she's about to turn around because Magica's shadow is in that direction.
But she can't touch her. They established that Magica can't touch anything.
Yeah, but they might be able to see her. It's not... It's vague, but, if you look back to the episode, she did, lead her away because she saw that Webby was turning around about to look at the shadow.
I notice also, it's anytime Lena starts to, go to anybody else, Magica, shifts into Lena's shadow. So it's I'm assuming she, she would be visible, otherwise why else would she, change form?
It's something that is, it's vague enough to be, interpreted as either way, but at this point I'm not sure. But yeah, so Scrooge finds out that someone's been tampering with his dime because they're interrupted by Webby, who has been collecting drool samples from Uncle Scrooge.
She continues to get creepier in her obsession. I know it's good-natured and everything, but it's creepy.
Yeah, just a little bit.
It's creepy, Zim. You're creepy.
Yes, I am.
So instead of stealing the dime, they're treated to a long and involved lecture on the life and times of Scrooge McDuck and his history. And both of them start sighing, and I'm just like, yeah, I'm kind of with you on that one.
Well, I mean, Scrooge's life could be interesting. I mean, he's led a very long, very adventurous life. So, and he's seen shit that, like, people only dreamed of. Although I gotta say, there is an inconsistency, though, because Webby states that Scrooge's birthday was in the year 1867. Yet Scrooge mentions that he was there during the Gold Rush, which took place in 1849. So either that was a mistake, or there's some timey-wimey, wibbly-wobbly bullshit going on here.
I mean, it could be she got it wrong, because later on she gets the vault number wrong, too. So, like, it could be Webby misremembering things. At this point, all we can go off of is what they say in the episode. It could also be Webby not being told the full truth, because while she's able to figure out stuff, like, there's some things that she doesn't even know about.
True. Honestly, though, I'm more inclined to believe that, like, he must have done some time traveling and stuff, because, I mean, he's already old enough as is, but they imply that he's much older than that. Like, I think in this case he's gone full Time Lord. He might have, like, you know, grown up, gone to the States, and then time traveled back during the Gold Rush in order to acquire his fortune. I'd be inclined to believe that. Like, I don't know, like I said, I can't really separate Scrooge from the Doctor. It's just so hard for me. And it's the only thing that...
We have to go back in time.
Plus, like, with all the detail and all the Easter eggs we find in, like, in the DuckTales series and everything, it's hard to believe that they would overlook a little detail like the year that Scrooge was born. Because I know it makes sense when the comic first started, because it was, like, you know, at the beginning of the century. So logically, it was possible for Scrooge to be alive during the Gold Rush, but even so, I'd be more inclined to believe that, like, there was some, like, time traveling shit going on.
So yeah, after that lecture, Scrooge is talking with Mrs. Beakley and says he notices someone's been tampering with his dime, so he puts it in the other bin. Now, the other bin, like you said, is where he stores all the stuff that is too dangerous for the world. Stuff that, like, really needs to be locked away. Nobody should know about, stuff that could probably plunge the world into chaos. So we eventually have this long infiltration sequence where Webby and Lena try to find their way into the money bin, and then once they get into the money bin, try to find the dime. I honestly started to get National Treasure vibes when they actually started to go into the other bin, because the way it's set up so that you have to go, like, through this series of kind of clues in order to figure out what you need to do. And the outside of the bin even has, like, some small, like, relics of, like, enemies that he defeated, stuff that doesn't pose a threat but should be locked away. Like, there were zombie body parts lying around.
It's just the garage.
I thought it was funny because it's just like, oh yeah, Scrooge was fine, he's defeated countless stuff, and then the zombie body, like, hand gives them the thumbs up.
I do like that they have a reference to the Minotaur in that one painting they showed, because like, they kind of allude to it a little bit in the original series. They had a giant Minotaur that was guarding, like, this huge treasure trove, but the only thing that Scrooge managed to escape with was this golden harp that could tell when someone was lying, and the Minotaur ends up chasing him all the way to Duckburg. Yeah, I think it was in the comic too, but it was just, you know, they were just finding treasure. But it was a nice little nod, I thought.
We also have the statue of Scrooge, which head is now on the mannequin that's, like, alive, or Manny as they call him in the episode.
The horse.
The horse, yep.
The horse. So yeah, like, there's all these little references here and there, but this is the outer sanctum of the other bin. They have to basically look through Scrooge's eyes. So what they do is they pose as a statue. They see a picture over in the other side of the room with Scrooge looking down at one of these like usher poles that you would see in a theater, and they find out that that's actually the key to get into the other bin. And I thought that was clever. I mean, I know Webby would be the one to figure it out. I wouldn't have figured that out at all.
Yeah, that actually was a good little thing right there. Because normally, in any situation, it would be pointing towards something really obvious, and you would find like the key. But in this case, it was just a regular like movie belt thingy, and it just so happens you turn it and it's a key. So that was pretty clever. I gotta say real quick, I love that I looked at the schedule that Webby had from Duckworth, his cleaning schedule.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently Scrooge has 32 bathrooms in his mansion.
32 bathrooms. So how do you need 32 bathrooms?
Good question.
Also, I hope you guys don't hear anything in the background. I think someone's lighting off fireworks. I don't know why.
Still?
Yeah,
Jesus Christ,
I don't know
people.
why. So I'm sorry if you guys can hear that. I'll try to cut that out of the recording. I'm not cutting this bit out. It might be for bloopers. It might not be. But people lighting fireworks. It's July 21st, guys. Anyway, so they get into the other bin, and I was thinking, like, I didn't know how it was going to be separated, but basically they go down this giant staircase, and it's row upon row upon row of different vaults that house, it's almost like a prison. It pretty much looks like a prison, and from what we see in the episode, there's at least 8,000 different vaults.
Yeah, that sounds about right, given all of Scrooge's many adventures.
And these are his most dangerous enemies. Like, we've never seen him bring anything back into the bin before. So, like, this is crazy. Like, we spend a lot of the episode going back and forth, and we don't see too many of his creatures. But it starts off, they open one of the doors, and inside, first of all, it looks like a unicorn at first, because there's a bunch of like sunshine and rainbows and like really girly things surrounding it, and then they realize, oh, this is a sword horse, and it starts attacking them.
Deadly unicorns.
Cornicorns.
Cornicorn.
It's funny because I was suddenly reminded of Maximus from Tangled and how he like fought with a sword in his mouth.
So we have this establishment of like just one of these doors houses a lot of things, and while Webby is able to fight off the sword horse, and basically Lena gives her the dagger that can cut through anything, leading to a sword fight against a unicorn. Let me say that again. A sword fight against a unicorn. Oh my god, this episode is awesome.
Hey, I mean, we saw a duel with pickaxes and a shovel with long gold, so, this is kind of to be expected at this point.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and Black Heron using her beak as a sword.
Yeah, there's some really creative action, and I really like that, but the true plot, the true bit happens when they go to the where they think the number one dime is. Basically, she says, oh, they're probably for dates, and she goes back to the date when he first found the dime. So they open it up, and inside they see the dime lying there on a pillow, but Lena walks in, locks the door, and takes the dime. And all of a sudden, Magica starts freaking out. She starts taking over. Her darkness grows like immensely, like she's taking up the screen with her darkness. It is really menacing. It's like, at that point, I was like, oh my god, what's going to happen? And then, using the magic of the coin, she physically manifests. She becomes corporeal. And I'm like,
She becomes a Heartless.
She becomes Shadow Heartless. No, she's the dark side in Kingdom Hearts. That's how she like manifests herself. And I'm like, oh shit, what is gonna happen? Oh my god. Like, this is the point where the episode went from great to oh my god. Because everything from here on is just like, oh my god.
Ooh, but it gets more oh my god from there.
Oh yeah. So we have Webby using the dagger to cut through the door. And when she finds out what's going on, she tries to go warn Uncle Scrooge. First, Magica reveals that Lena was secretly working for her the entire time when she tries to fight back. But when she tries to go get Scrooge, she turns Webby into a doll, which...
Her Quacky Patch doll from the original.
Which, nice reference, nice Quacky Patch reference. So, she starts using the puppet to fight Lena, because Lena does not want to work for Magica anymore. You know, she realizes that, oh shit, Magica's not, you know, like, she is something that cannot be stopped. I have my freedom now, but, like, Webby's, like, a doll. So, while she's fighting, the amulet that Magica had given her, like, the amulet that she had from the very start, starts glowing, and it gives her a protection shield for a little bit from Magica. But at the same time, it starts fighting back against the Webby puppet, and in one extremely shocking twist, the magic of the amulet destroys the Webby puppet. They killed off Webby, y'all. Everybody died. The end.
Or did they?
Or did they? They didn't really kill it off because this is all just a dream from one of.
It's all a dream.
It was from the dream catcher that they mentioned at the beginning of the episode that pulls you into your deepest, darkest nightmare. But they really sold me on that one. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I was like, they killed off Webby? But no. So let's talk about this, Doug. Doug, do you want to state your feelings on this?
I'm okay. I just need my blankie. But no, I mean, like, obviously I knew they were not gonna just kill off Webby. There was no way in hell. But it's like, holy shit, that gave me the creeps and everything, and it was just so dark. And I'm like, God. It's like, she turns her into a doll, she makes her a puppet, and then she gets, like, disintegrated. I'm like, shit. I'm like, that's probably, like, the darkest thing that's happened in this series.
Yeah, that definitely takes the gold for me at the moment.
Darkest sketch. But yeah, that freaked me the fuck out. Oh my god.
'Cause, like, it's bad enough where you take someone you care about and basically pull their body along like a corpse, but then just to fucking incinerate them, that at your own hand, no less. That, oh god. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if, like, Lena developed PTSD after this. Because, like, even though it wasn't real, like, that messes with your head.
Yeah, hell, as soon as she wakes up, she wants to get the fuck out.
Like, not only that, but, I mean, just think about it. Webby hasn't actually done anything to Magica. She has no real grudge against Webby, and she has no threat. Like, she poses no, like, real threat at this point in time to Magica, since Magica, when she gets her powers back, would be all powerful. We see how powerful she could become, and yet she would just have her disintegrated like nothing.
Actually, you know what this sequence kind of reminds me of, and you would get this reference then. The episode of Steven Universe where Garnet lends Steven her future vision, and he all of a sudden like these things that would happen that would result in like bad things like people dying or whatever. But then as soon as it would happen, he'd suddenly wake up and he was back at an earlier point in the timeline.
Oh, yeah. That makes sense. Like, basically, something would happen, then wake up, and then you use that to prevent the future from happening.
Like, I know this was technically supposed to be like a nightmare manifestation, but I can't help but wonder if that might have been a possible future as well. Because given the legitimacy of it, it's not like... Because a lot of time when they do dream sequences, it's over the top. You can tell that characters are not speaking the way they're supposed to. But in this case, everybody was acting exactly as you would expect. So
and it was
I couldn't help but wonder.
seamless.
You couldn't tell it was a dream, and that's the true mark of, I think, a really quality twist, is that from the moment she enters that door, you don't know it's a dream. They don't break character until the last second, and they sell it. And that's a big thing. Like, just the way they present this, the menace on display, displaying her full power, it doesn't even matter if it's a dream, it shows off why she's a threat. Because this isn't her at her full power. This isn't even her at a fraction of her power. Because, like, she doesn't have a full physical form yet. She's still kind of a shadow. But if she were to get her full power back, she could do much more to everyone. And that shows finally why she is a force to be reckoned with. Because she will turn you into a puppet and torch your ass.
True that. And, I mean, because, I've seen a lot of episodes of Magica, and a lot of times they're kind of played up for laughs just because, it's her doing a Natasha voice from Rocky and Bullwinkle, so she's a bit goofy, but at the same time, she does have her moments where she uses her magic, like, for instance, changing Scrooge's future into like a dystopia, and that she takes over and like changes his nephews and basically drives his friends underground. Like, she is a legit threat no matter which series she's in, no matter what incarnation. Like, there's a reason she's known as Scrooge's greatest nemesis, and I'm glad we finally got to see that in this episode, because holy shit.
Yeah, like this part of the episode had me on edge. I did not know what was going to happen, and to be honest, I was not expecting something like this amazing. This, like, you were right. As harsh as I was on the Jaws episode of her portrayal in that episode, I was not prepared for how good this was going to be, and I should have had a little bit more faith, because wow.
I will say, I did get a bit spoiled by that. And the reason is because at the time of this recording, San Diego Comic-Con has happened. And they released a teaser trailer for the remaining episodes of Season 1 up to the finale. So I did see a clip of when Lena goes into the room that holds the number 1 dime. Everything else after it, though, like, I will say, like, you thought this episode was holy shit. The what I saw in the trailer was holy fucking shit. So,
yeah, Doug and I
prepare yourself.
Doug and I decided not to watch it simply because, like, I'm pretty sure I'm with him on this, that I don't want to be spoiled. In a sense that I want to be surprised as I was with this episode. Because I don't have, like, my unfortunate thing is I don't have cable at home. So I had to wait a little bit later to watch this episode. And when I finally saw it, like, with them right before recording this, I'm like, I don't know why no one's talking about this twist, because I thought my timeline would be bumping. I know a lot of people are highly rating this episode, but for some reason nobody's talking about this. And this episode, wow.
And I think the trailer is to blame for that, because if you knew what was coming, like, damn.
Mm-hmm. So that's not it. That's not it. In any ordinary episode, like, this would be like a good way to close it off, but no. when they're about to leave the other bin, because Lena says, you know what, let's just stop this. Like, you gotta know when to bail. She just, like, says no, because that was her worst nightmare. She sees what's gonna happen. She's like, no, we're done. And Scrooge comes into the bin, and we find out that, you know, the number 1 dime was in bin number 1.
Who'd have thought? Although, to be fair, given his layout of everything, given that he organized them by date, like, how would you really catch on to that fact with the numbering? But I guess that was his way of just being clever. Because he is right, nobody ever checks the first chamber. Anytime you ever go into a series where, like, they go through a maze and they have to check, like, rooms or whatever, like, they always start with, like, the first room they see, which is somewhere in the middle. So, yeah, I can understand his logic with that.
Yep. But before we end the episode, Scrooge is just like, oh, you should have asked me, I would have shown you, and basically saying, come straight with me. Lena almost confesses. Instead, she keeps getting stopped by some force. Magica stops her from talking and possesses her fully. Oh my god.
Yeah, that was like, wait, she could do that?
Even she didn't know that she could do that. She's just like, wait, I can do that? Oh, this feels so good.
I mean, to be fair, she does cite the coming eclipse as the reason for that, because as it gets closer, her powers get stronger. So I guess now that she was desperate enough to try and possess her niece, like, she was finally able to do it. But yeah, that was pretty horrifying. Like, the way you see her, like, struggling to, like, open and close her mouth and then struggling against her aunt's influence. It was scary.
And then the darkness slowly overtaking Lena, and her eyes fill up and turn pitch black. I'm okay. I'm okay. Just, wow. Oh my god. Doug, what do you think? What do you think of this ending?
Yeah. Woo! Oh boy. Yeah, I was like, oh man, we're almost gonna get a confession? I'm like, would that really happen? I'm like, yeah, like I said at the beginning, I was freaking out.
I'm freaking out, man. I'm freaking out.
You are freaking out, man.
This now has me worried, though, because that means from now on, we have no idea whether we're going to be watching Magica or Lena. Because, like, did she take over her fully? Is she going to take over her, like, without Lena's knowing? Or, like, we have no idea what's going to happen. And I'm frankly scared. Especially given all that I know that's going to happen.
Oh, God. I'm just like, this episode is a perfect counterpoint to anything negative I have said about the show, from the Mummies of Toth Ra, or Jaws, or one of the early filler episodes. This is how you do it. This is how you create something really memorable and advance the plot, but just enough to where they don't reveal everything yet. And that's the thing. I get that you have a show that you have to have a certain amount of episodes, and not everything can advance the plot. But not everything needs to. But here, we have plot threads that almost go in a direction, like the almost reveal of Lena, like the almost reveal of Magica, the almost destruction of Webby. These are plot points that technically do happen, but they're done in such a way that we explore what would have happened, and then we pedal back a little bit. But it gives us enough plot dynamic, and we see this gradual buildup of her power and how she continually gains hold and how much more menace and influence she has. And this is just what you want. Steady progression. Obviously, Terror of the Terraformians is good for its point in the series. Looking back, good for its point in the series. You have Aunt Magica and Lena just bickering, but it shows a little bit of the menace, but she doesn't have as much power then, so that's fine. And it slowly built up to that point. I just don't think Jaws was a good middle point outside of the friendship bracelet, which I thought was good. It's a good character piece, not good plot advancement piece. And that's the thing. This is all of the boxes ticked. This is my new favorite episode.
So
like,
Zen,
as much as... Yeah?
you gonna get back on board the hype train? Are you hyped?
I am so damn hyped. I'm just like, oh god. Like seriously, this is how you do it. Favorite episode. It used to be Spirit Celine, but like just this, because now that I know that the like last two-parter is obviously going to be involving Magica in some capacity, and they've been building this up, and they're probably going to be building up some of the other plot lines for later seasons for their finale. Like, I'm very much hyped. I'm hyped for Magica. I love her as a villain. I love her in this episode. Catherine Tate is perfect. It just, dear God, that twist.
Like, seeing Catherine Tate go full on evil, like, it's the thing I never knew I wanted to see, and I'm glad I saw it, but I'm also horrified. Like, my precious Donna, what happened to you?
Well, she became the Dr. Donna.
Who's evil, I guess.
Oh, God. This is a fantastic episode. Those are my final thoughts. Kat, what do you think?
Well, first off, I want to correct myself from what I asked earlier in regard to Scrooge's age. Again, thank you, Internet, for misinforming me. Well, I complained about the whole Scrooge not being able to be around for the gold rush. It turns out I was thinking of the wrong gold rush. I was thinking of the California one from 1849. The one that Scrooge was a part of was the Klondike Gold Rush, which was in the 1890s. So that does make sense in terms of the timeline for Scrooge. Although I still swear there is time travel involved in some capacity with him. But yeah, that aside, for the episode itself, this was a fantastic episode. This was so well written. It was so well paced. Like, the suspense, the horror, the twist, the feeling of dread, like, it just, oh god. Like, given how I've been watching the old DuckTales episodes, I could never have believed that they would have reached this capacity of amazing. Like, the writing this outstrips all the old seasons from the original. It's just so damn good, and it's definitely among the best of DuckTales so far. I am like really hyped. I am really looking forward to finale. And dear God, I want to tell you about the shit I saw in the trailer, but I will respect your guys' feelings and let you wait for when it comes. But dear God, when it comes, oh man.
It's gonna blow its load. Doug Burt, Doug Funny. What do you think?
Dude. That episode, man. That episode. Yeah, I'm hyped.
Take a drag of a cigarette.
Was it good for you too?
What is all this sexual reference, Zen? What's going on with you? But yeah, I mean, this episode was intense. It was just, I mean, you had a nice like dynamic because you have, you know, the triplets as comic relief in this one because you really need it. Because damn, this episode, holy cow! It's like you kind of want the whole thing to be about Magica, but you do need a little breather. And just, I can't. I'm like, yeah, everything that you guys have already said. I don't think I could add any more to it. This was fantastic. It's a good build up to what we're probably gonna get. I am just looking forward, and I'm gonna be like on edge until that moment comes.
Yeah, like I do agree. I think the Bigfoot stuff was really necessary. Like if you look at it at first, like you might think, oh, that doesn't have anything to do with the episode, but it does intertwine with Scrooge and the whole money bin thing. But like you need that levity, you really do, because if it was all like Webby dying, I mean, like just wow. Yeah, you need that levity, you need that break, you need that breather, and the way that it keeps cutting between these plot points really, really works. Especially the entire time you're wondering if Webby's gonna catch on to Lena, and you're wondering what's gonna happen. And honestly, like I was worried the entire time, but you've switched back to the Bigfoot plot, and that was nice diffusion, nice tension diffusion, and so I just, oh my god. I have never been more hyped for a show like this. That, because like as much as I was enjoying the series in the beginning, and as much as I liked like things, especially from the Spear of Selene, like this is a high point. This is something that I'm just like, I don't know what's gonna happen. I can probably imagine some things, but I know she's gonna get out. And I know in the finale some shit's gonna go down, some shit going down, but I can't imagine what's gonna happen considering the power that we have seen in this episode, just a fraction. Wow. With that being said, my friends, I cannot wait. As exhausting as it is to sometimes like just try to do this every single week, in addition to everything else that I do, I'm kind of really glad that we started this show, if only for the build up to like this stuff. I mean, like the rest of the show is fantastic, but this episode alone has me in a place where I needed this. I really needed this month, because I've been working very hard getting episodes out for like the next few months, and this episode really helped me relax and unwind, and just is awesome. But anyway, I am Zenith Will Rule.
I'm Kat Macberrie.
I'm Gavin. I mean Doug Macberrie.
And we will see you next time as we near the conclusion, as we near the finale of this season of DuckTales. There's only a few more episodes left, guys, and oh my god.
Next episode's a special one. Oh-wee-yay, tailspin. Oh-wee-oh, tailspin. Friends for life, we're thick and thin. We're watching Tailspin. Woo!
Ah, god, yes, Tailspin is part of this. Oh my god, I cannot wait. But I'm Zenith Rule, just saying, remember, if somebody dies in front of you, just, keep in mind that it might be a dream caused by a dream catcher. I'm just saying.
Or it isn't, in which case you should call 911.
that
Just
too.
saying.
Probably that.
And beware of big feets.
Hey, this is Megami33. Thank you for watching Zenith Will Review. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more awesome videos. If you like what you see, check out the Patreon page at patreon.com/ZenithWillReview.